Hello, you're watching 7Edition with me, Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan, and here are your top stories. PM denies having contradicting stands over sex allegations involving his past and current ministers. New law to regulate vapes, shisha and e-cigarettes soon. And tear gas fired as thousands of Hong Kong protesters defy police ban. We begin the bulletin with this story. Prime Minister turned Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has shot down claims of having contradictory stands over sex allegations affecting a past and a current member of his cabinet. He touched on this matter today in a post on his personal blog titled Contradictions. Tun Dr. Mahathir said the action taken in 1998 was not based on a video clip, which came later. The Prime Minister also said that the court had already made its decision. He also pointed out that the subsequent videos did not influence the court or anyone else, and that it did not influence the Prime Minister. In an earlier post on his blog on July 23rd, Tun Dr. Mahathir had repeated his claim that the video clips in the recent scandal were circulated clearly for political purposes, specifically to block the success of a particular individual. And earlier, the Prime Minister pictured the possibility of Malaysia producing supercars in order to further enhance the capability of the nation's automotive industry. Tun Dr. Mahathir said Turkish supercar producer Onuk indicated its willingness to cooperate with Malaysia to produce the exotic vehicle. According to the Premier, he was long aware of the Turkish company's capability, but now, finally, he was able to see it firsthand.
Tetapi saya tidak ada follow up kerana semasa saya dapat tahu maklumat ini, saya bukan Perdana Menteri. Jadi terganggu sikitlah nak buat progres. Tapi sekarang dia bersedia untuk kerjasama dengan kita, bukan saja untuk kereta ini tapi juga kereta-kereta lain.
Tun Dr. Mahathir said this to the Malaysian media at the end of his official visit to Turkey at the Istanbul Sabiha Gökçen International Airport on Saturday. Before returning home, he also took the opportunity to check out the Onuk Sazan and Onuk S56G supercar models exhibited at the airport. On Friday, during a dialogue session with Turkish captains of industry, Tun Dr. Mahathir had offered Malaysian expertise to Turkish automakers to produce their own national car based on the success garnered by Proton and Pro2. Now, talks that PKR Deputy President Datuk Seri Muhammad Azmin Ali may leave party to join Gerakan are merely rumours. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail, who is also the party's former #1, however, said only Datuk Seri Azmin himself can confirm the matter.
Itu je kita tanya dia lah. Kita baca ura-ura je kan. Tanya dia lah.
Talks have been rife that Datuk Seri Azmin and his followers may join former Barisan National Component Party Gerakan. This after the party announced that it had been talking with certain PKR leaders from various levels over their possible crossovers. Meanwhile, some 6,000 women from the B40 group nationwide are expected to undergo cervical cancer screening free of charge under a special program launched by the Deputy Prime Minister in Kuala Lumpur today. Datuk Seri Dr. Wan Azizah, who is also the Women, Family and Community Development Minister, said the move is crucial in combating the third most common cancer among women in Malaysia. According to the National Cancer Registry report, nearly 8% of every 100,000 women in Malaysia suffered cervical cancer between 2011 and 2017. However, Datuk Seri Wan Azizah said the disease can be prevented through early detection. Unfortunately, 80% of cervical cancer cases in the country were detected late, which could lead to death. The free cervical cancer screening program is a collaborative effort between insurance firm Etika and the Rose Foundation. Free cervical screening is also offered at the government-owned Nur Sejahtera Clinic, which has outlets nationwide, including in Sabah and Sarawak, until the end of the year. Some 14,875 women had undergone the HPV DNA test between January and July this year, involving a government allocation of 7 million ringgit. The Health Ministry will draw up a new law to regulate the use of vapes, shisha and e-cigarettes. Its Minister, Datuk Seri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad, said the Tobacco Act is expected to be able to tackle the issues comprehensively and will be tabled soon. He also said at the moment the ministry's legal advisors are looking into the matter before it is submitted to the Attorney General's chambers. He added that a special committee headed by his deputy, Dr. Lee Boon Chai, would also help find ways to control the use of e-cigarettes or vaping. On the recent ghost smoke candy issue, Datuk Seri Zulkifli noted that his ministry had taken the necessary samples and will be revealing its findings to the public soon. In Penang, a quarrel between two Indian nationals led to murder when one of them allegedly stabbed the other before the 28-year-old man took his own life in a shophouse at Lorong Bertamria 2, Kepala Batas yesterday evening. In the 6:45 p.m. incident, Mubarak Ali was discovered lying face down in the bathroom, while the suspect in the case, 26-year-old Azad Mubarak Bai, was found hanging from a ceiling fan hook. It is learned that both of them, who worked at a nearby restaurant, were always quarrelling and mocking one another, but would usually made up soon after. However, the situation reached a boiling point Saturday when Azad stabbed Mubarak. Seberang Perai Utara Police Chief ACP Norzaini Muhammad Noor said according to their employer, both came to work at 7:30 a.m. yesterday and took a break about noon before returning to the shop house, which serves as a workers' hostel. They were supposed to return to work at 5:30 p.m. but was not seen more than half an hour later, prompting another worker to check on them only to find their lifeless bodies. A 30-centimeter blade with bloodstains was found near Azad's body. The bodies were sent to Seberang Jaya Hospital for post-mortem and the case is being investigated under the Penal Code. In Johor, police seized drugs weighing 30.2 kilograms with a street value of about 1.75 million ringgit following 4 separate raids conducted in Muar last week. 9 men were arrested in the operation held from Tuesday to Saturday. State Police Chief Datuk Muhammad Kamaruddin Maddin said police mainly seized amphetamine and methamphetamine as well as psychotropic drugs that can feed more than 72,000 addicts. The suspects have been remanded pending investigations under the Dangerous Drugs Act, which carries a mandatory death penalty upon conviction. Ever wondered how you should act or what to wear if you are granted an audience with the Yang di-Pertuan Agong or the Raja Permaisuri Agong? In the lead-up to the installation ceremony of our King, Hawa Rizwana Rizwan takes us into Istana Negara to understand the meaning behind the royal protocols.
Behind me is the front of Istana Negara and it has a fantastic view of Kuala Lumpur. Many people don't know that it is designed to face the Qiblat and many Islamic elements are built into its architecture.
Istana Negara, besides serving as the official residence of the Yang di-Pertuan Agong, it is also an institution that upholds royal protocol. We spoke to an expert in the subject to understand what one should wear and how to greet His Majesty.
Right now, I'm with the Assistant Grand Chamberlain of Istana Negara, Encik Sofian Abdul Rahman. So, Encik Sofian, what should one do when they have an audience with His Majesty Yang di-Pertuan Agong?
Okay, very good question. It's the most prominent question being asked to me. As far as attire is concerned, when one has been granted an audience, they have to be mindful of what they're wearing. Of course, they have to wear their best. For the normal days, they'll be wearing business suits. And then, of course, with a formal tie and formal shoes, that is for the gentlemen. For the ladies, they'll be wearing baju kurung or kebaya labo. And for the baju kurung kebaya labo, in our style in Malaysia, it cannot be sedondon. And the sedondon means the tudung, the baju and the kain. It cannot be one color and it cannot be plain. It has to have some kind of a pattern and toning colors. Because if it's plain and also one color, usually it is worn by the consorts of the Malay rulers.
What about sembah?
The proper one is actually like this, which is you place your hands together and place on your nose, and just like this, for example. So this is the best one, the most commonly done, because as far as protocol is concerned, it's something that commonly done. So it has to be like this. 2 seconds perhaps. This is the wrong one, maybe too high, like Ultraman, or too low, like Thailand, or they do it like Piramli movie. That is something that is very awkward. Back then, our elderly, our old folk comes to Istana, they had to do this. Actually, it's very much the same like this, to surrender yourself. So actually to declare that you are weaponless. So for example, of course back then they don't have metal scanner. Like in airports today, they can detect metal. So if one is carrying a weapon, a keris or a saber, so if one is doing this in front of the Malay rulers, then if he or she, for example, hide a weapon, it will drop. Or he or she is actually hiding it inside the jacket, and if he does this, it's actually visible and will be akan dirampas oleh penunggu pintu. So that's actually why we do this.
We hope that explains a bit of the protocol you will be seeing on the installation day itself. I'm Hawa Rizwana Rizwan for 7Edition.
When we return, sometimes humans are more dangerous than wild animals. Stay with us. Welcome back with foreign news. Russian police rounded up almost 1,400 people in Moscow on Saturday in one of the biggest crackdowns of recent times against an increasingly defiant opposition decrying President Vladimir Putin's tight grip on power. The detentions came around a protest to demand that opposition members be allowed to run in a local election. According to official figures, around 3,500 people took to the streets for the unauthorized rally. Authorities declared it illegal and sought to block participation, but several thousand people turned up anyway in one of the longest and most determined protests of recent years. Chants of Russia without Putin and Putin resign echoed through central Moscow as guardsmen clad in riot gear beat back protesters with batons and roughly detained people. At least one woman and a man appeared to have suffered serious head wounds. Now, thousands of pro-democracy protesters in Sai Ying Pun, Hong Kong are facing off with riot police. The police are fully armed in riot gear and are now firing tear gas. This comes after protesters defied a police ban and began marching again through Hong Kong on Sunday. The rally today was a result of Saturday's violence in the financial hub, which saw 11 people arrested. Defiant activists pushed ahead with a march mid-afternoon despite a police ban on safety grounds. Huge crowds gathered in the heart of the city's commercial district to protest an attack by suspected Triad gang members at a train station last weekend. Less than 3 hours after the march began, police fired tear gas to try to disperse the crowd. Rubber bullets were also fired later in the clashes, which ended when riot police baton charged the last remaining demonstrators inside the town's metro station. The chaos left pools of blood in the same concourse where last weekend's attack took place. Authorities said 24 people were injured in the clashes, 2 of whom in serious condition. Public anger has been raging since last Sunday when a gang of men in white t-shirts, armed with poles and batons, set upon anti-government protesters and bystanders in Yuen Long Station, leaving at least 45 people injured. And it's time for Clickbait, where we take a look at what's trending and making rounds in the cyber world today. Although animals are different from us humans, this doesn't make it okay to kill them without any reason. Unfortunately, that's not how it was for a group of villagers in India, as 4 out of the 31 men were arrested after being caught on camera beating a tigress to death near the Pilibhit Tiger Reserve, taking law into their own hands after the big cat mauled a man. What you're about to see contains graphic content, so viewers' discretion is advised. Reports said that the 5 to 6-year-old tigress was lost and strayed into a village, which prompted dozens of locals to surround the animal. In the viral video, a group of people was seen taking turns severely beating and stabbing the tigress with long sticks and spears. The poor feline suffered fractures and injuries on almost every part of its body, including broken ribs, before succumbing to her wounds. Netizens are expressing anger and frustration over the incident, urging for the perpetrators to be brought to justice. One Twitter user is particularly angry at the fact that someone was recording the whole incident instead of trying to stop the heinous act. World Wildlife Fund says that only less than 4,000 tigers are left on Earth, and most of them live in reservations in India. And after the break, first-hand look at AI and its potential. Details next. Welcome back. It's time for Future Now, where we take a peek at the world of tomorrow, today. Malaysia's transformation through digitalization to realize the country's 4th Industrial Revolution, or IR 4.0 aim, would see artificial intelligence, AI, being one of the core components. But what kind of impact will the technology bring in our daily lives? 7Edition's Zansha Rohaizat had the chance to see up close how AI can be life-changing to our society.
Artificial intelligence, or AI, may be a fledgling technology, but its rapid development is certainly catching up to the hype. With Industrial Revolution 4.0 on the horizon, even a developing country such as Malaysia would not want to miss the boat in embracing the cutting-edge technology, which promises to bring the future today.
So, why is Malaysia so keen to adopt IR 4.0?
Industry 4.0 is quickly revolutionizing all major industries. We are seeing stronger cooperation between robots, AI, and humans, leading to bold new innovations. I believe that this change will improve the quality of life for everyone, but it's important not to leave anyone behind in the process.
This is Sophia, a social humanoid robot powered by AI, brought to our shores for the very first time recently. She's an example of how state-of-the-art technology can add value for businesses, as it binds together various separate processes through the Internet of Things.
In some high-pressure situations, human emotion can get in the way. Robots are great at staying calm and objective. We don't get psyched out, as a human might say. Look how calm I am right now.
Her creator, Dr. David Hansen, a former Walt Disney Imagineer, both a sculptor and a technical consultant in robotics, has been on a lifelong quest to create true living, caring machines. And he believes that Sophia is just the tip of the iceberg of what AI can potentially become.
She's not truly alive, but she acts like she is, and so in that way, like science fiction, she's depicting reflecting the potential eventuality that maybe machines will be alive. And I think that is a very exciting, transformative proposition. And if we do, then I hope that machines would be like what the name Sophia means in Greek, means wisdom. I hope machines will be wise, that they will care about us. And I think raising them among us so that they can understand us through this kind of social engagement can help them to really care and have a kind of imagination for what would be best for people going forward. They need to understand us to really look out for what's best.
The impact of AI also stretches beyond robotics and machine learning to autonomous vehicles, human capital development, and mixed reality. Now, AI has also evolved from being an emerging technology into frontier technology and applicable to various industries from oil and gas to even finance and water sectors. Its main function? To help extract, analyze, and digest information, which allows machines to learn, adapt, and perform tasks, including those beyond human capabilities. However, AI is not the only problem solver for everything.
Just depending on AI, it might not be able to help you to achieve the intention. So that is why all the other pillars will come in. For example, like cyber security, cloud computing, and system integrations, and so on and so forth. So all these are interrelated to each other.
Some quarters, however, see AI as a disruptive technology that will lead to a huge loss of employment. This fear-ridden debate of man versus machine, though, is misguided. Yes, it's true that activities accounting for up to 50% of most tasks can be automated, and forecasts from leading market research companies confirm that machines could not only perform these activities, but also complete them better and faster than humans can. But humans would be relieved of the drudgery of such tasks and have more freedom to assess the results obtained, advise customers and patients, or recognize and foster our employees' abilities. Anybody who has yet to adopt the technology will also be left behind in the industrial race.
I will say that it is never too late because if we don't do it, then there will be more disastrous implications and effect onto our nation or our people. So it is never too late. We have to start at a certain point, and Malaysians should and will be able to do it.
The fact is, Industrial Revolution 4.0 is a journey that we must all embark on, not only to ensure Malaysia's economic prosperity, but also to improve the people's way of life by utilizing emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence, where work is automated and jobs humanized. Zanshara Haizat for 7Edition.
It's time for My Game On, the Fortnite World Cup finals. European pair Nirox and Aqua became the first champions in the duo division in New York on Saturday, winning $1.5 million each. The event, which took place at New York City's Arthur Ashe Stadium, saw the pair won games 4 and 5 out of a total of 6 in the first ever of the competition and finished with the most points. With a total of 51 points, Nirox and Aqua beat runners-up Johor and Wolfies, who scored 47 points and also became millionaires, earning $1.13 million each. Meanwhile, every competitor is guaranteed to leave the competition $50,000 richer. The Fortnite World Cup continues tomorrow with solos finals at 1 a.m. Malaysian time, which can be streamed live on the Fortnite Twitch channel. And on to the 2019 Tour de France, Egan Bernal is set to clinch victory in the race, making him the first ever Colombian to win cycling's greatest prize. He captured the Tour de France yellow jersey with just 1 day to go, and now only one day ago, and now only need to finish the job in Sunday's final stage in Paris, which will see him becoming the youngest rider to win the Tour in 110 years, a title held by Francois Faber back in 1909.
22-year-old Bernal was defending his overnight lead in the penultimate stage, which left him only needing to cross the finish line ahead of the Paris parade. Defending champion Dutch rider Geraint Thomas crossed the winning line a few seconds ahead of their rivals. Bernal leads Thomas by 1 minute 11 seconds overall and Jumbo-Visma's Steven Kruijswijk by 1 minute 31 seconds. Ineos principal Dave Brailsford appears to have masterminded 7 Tour wins from the last 8 editions, with Bradley Wiggins, Chris Froome and Thomas having taken 6 and Bernal within a parade of the latest triumph.
Russell Russi Taylor, who was the voice of Minnie Mouse, has died on Friday at the age of 75 in Glendale, California. For the last 33 years, the actress gave a voice to the beloved Disney character, a job she landed when she beat out 200 other hopefuls at an audition in 1986. We wrap up 7Edition tonight in memories of Taylor. With that, I'm Muhammad Ahmad Hamdan. Thanks for watching and have a good one.